this evening because my head is indeed heavy. For our in sight, we forgot the priority in our main care program. And if this bill is enacted, we will be unable to ensure that its original mission of caring for those who cannot care for themselves is fulfilled. We have families that are stressed to the max, trying to care for severely autistic children after they age out of the children's program. Their care is 24/7, all day, every day. And yes, in the budget, we have appropriated some additional money to fund some of those in need, but the operative word is some. These people are easy to overlook because they are not the people who show up at every budget cycle, reading eloquent testimony written especially for them from specific groups who advocate for the poor, waving signs, attending press conferences, or chanting in the halls of this building. They are easy to overlook because they can't show up. They can't because they aren't physically able, even if they were. Verbalizing how desperately they need services above and beyond standard health care is often difficult due to their disabilities. No, these people are only a number on the list to many of us. 3,100 individuals. Some have severe and persistent disabilities, traumatic brain injuries, and others are elderly. They are not able-bodied. They are at our mercy because they have no choice. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven, or this could be hell. This could be heaven, or this could be hell. Has our previous experience with Medicaid expansion been the heaven that was promised, or is it a budgetary hell? I've seen supplemental budget after supplemental budget, year after year, as we gaze into our crystal ball, we look at what the future holds. We will not have enough tax revenue just to maintain what we are committed to now. Does anyone remember the DHHS request for an additional $33 million just 2 weeks ago? Why? Previous Medicaid expansion. Mirrors on the ceiling, a pink champagne on ice. And she said, we're all just prisoners here of our own device. Yes, Mr. President, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. We're committing the budget cycle to a never-ending rhythm of tax increases to fund this expansion. We are facing a nursing home crisis in the near future. Ask the people of Washington County how far they have to travel now that the long-term care facility is closed. Long-term care is in dire straits in the state. It is due to the fiscal appetite of the previous Medicaid expansion. We have a perceived dental access problem, and the root of the problem is reimbursement from the state. Emergency services have come begging for more money, and they too are on the verge of going under. They are unable to continue operating due to reimbursement rates. Why? If you answered Medicaid expansion, you answered correctly. And in the Master's chamber, they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. We will never be able to kill this beast that we are allowing to control every segment of the state government. Every segment is affected. Education, highway funding, environmental enforcement, law enforcement, fish and game, law enforcement, elderly home care services, nursing and long-term care facilities, dental access, emergency services are being cannibalized by this beast. Last thing I remember, I was running through the door. I had to find a passage back to this place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We're programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you never can leave. We are programmed to receive, and that is the crux of the argument. Receiving. Free money from the federal government, or should I say free money that was taken out of our left pocket instead of our right. The numbers haven't changed from the last debate. General fund spending, $26 million first biennium, $69 million second, $102 million third, $150 million thereafter. Free money is not free. budget. And in that proposal, as I understand it, there's about $218 million in new revenue, more taxation. I might at this time make note that the previous Medicaid expansion is costing us an additional $300 million in this budget that we just approved. We are raising taxes to feed the beast. Mr. President, welcome to the Hotel California. There are co-payments written to the amendment, co-payments that are frowned upon by CMS, and the idea has not been vetted with CMS. Requirements for co-payment amounts to nothing more than provider tax. History shows co-payments are not being paid now, and I have no reason to believe that they will be paid by an expanded portion of the population. It's just a tax on providers. The amended version of this bill contains an escape clause provision, an escape clause that has not been vetted with CMS, who, by the way, does not like to allow a repeal provisions and besides, do you really believe that any legislature will have the testicular fortitude to take anyone off the Medicaid rolls once they are on? We're in this for good, Mr. President. You can check out